I'm going to show you what are the best stats for centre backs in Football Manager. I've been running some experiments, and what I've found out is going to totally change how I go about signing centre backs in the future. So those familiar with the channel will know that I have a test league. Everybody's got the same stats and everybody plays each other many, many times. And in this league, what I've done is I've changed each team to have a boost in a certain stat. And what I've done is I've looked at all the possible centre back settings, like stoppers, covering, no nonsense centre backs, wide centre backs, standard centre backs. We've also looked at what happens when you're facing a direct attack, what happens when you're facing a short passing attack, what happens when you have a high pushed up defence or a low drop back defence, and see which style of centre back is best suited to which situation. And we're going to give you overall what are the best stats for a centre back in Football Manager. So point one, there is not much difference defensively between a no-nonsense centre back, a standard centre back, a wide centre back. All those settings just appear to adjust how the centre backs play in an aggressive manner and don't really affect the defensive line too much. So I'm going to give you the 4 worst attributes to start with. This is what blew my mind. What I'm going to give you here are the averages across all the settings. And them off. Some attributes perform well in some specific circumstances. However, most of the time the trend is pretty consistent across all settings. The 4th worst one is jumping. And now this is the first thing I look at in a centre back usually. I would never sign a centre-back with jumping less than 15 if I can possibly manage it, no matter what league I'm in. And in most of the tests, it was pants. It has some benefits over all the other attributes when it comes to, like, being a stopper and also being a covering defender. But with the rest of the settings, it was very average indeed. The next worst was positioning, which was pretty poor across the board, and again, a big shock to me. It fared terribly against any team playing directly. That team did terrible. And for the most part, it was pretty poor all around. The second worst was decisions. Again, another one I'd look for as a key stat, but apparently not. And the worst of all, I'll put a fanfare in or something, strength. Terrible. Just terrible across the board. Anyway, enough of the rubbish ones. This is what you really came for. What are the good stats? So this time we're going to do top 3 because it's a bit easier the way the numbers have fallen. Third best is composure. Very good across the board, particularly strong when played as a stopper role or versus direct attacking teams. My gut feeling around this is that actually a lot of defending just involves being able to get the ball away to a teammate sensibly and not just losing lots of rebounds that seem to be quite prevalent in Football Manager. And I think composure is really helping with this. Having a strong composure, you don't give the ball away as much when those balls are being launched in at you. You concede less goals. The second best, pace. I think this is the same case as with attacking in Football Manager. The key thing that you want is you need to be able to get to that ball as quick as possible before your opponent. Pace does that. Pace was very strong across the board, other than against direct attacks. It didn't fare very well when those direct balls were just being launched straight to players. I guess those sort of direct, quick balls kind of negates the opportunity for pace to really be a factor there. But we know pace is always OP in Football Manager. It's the same for centre-backs. I'm going to be slacking off jumping now and getting more pacey centre-backs instead. That being said, I still recommend getting some strong jumping centre-back, at least one, to score you some good headers from corners. Best stats across the board, no matter what. Fanfare. Concentration. Now, I feel a bit bad about this because I've just written, before I did these experiments, in a comment of a previous video, I don't think concentration is that good. It doesn't seem to come up in many of my tests as a top stat. Well, egg on face, here we are. Concentration, number 1 across the board. Concentration is listed as your mental focus on an event-by-event basis. I think this is like composure again, in terms of not giving the ball away off rebounds, defending and getting the ball away to teammates, not losing the ball. If you want to see the full list of stats, I'm going to stick the graph up at the side now. And as always, if you want to tell me what you think, hit me up on the Discord, link at the bottom. Otherwise, you're going to want to go out and pair these new signing centre-backs that you're going to make with a fine defensive tactic. And for that, you're going to want to watch this video. Enjoy your Football Manager, guys. I'll catch you in a bit.